Off we go. I believe every image should tell a story and be able to stand on its own. So when the viewer looks at the picture, it has to elicit an emotion. And if you look at it and it has a wow factor, stops you in your tracks, for whatever reason, we did our job as communicators. So why did I come to this particular spot at this particular time of year? It's because I want to document a specific behavior, which is the bears catching sockeye salmon. And it all depends on the behavior that I want to capture. You have to do your diligence. You know, we're not just coming here and saying, hey, I'm going to come in July. I have the best week of the year for the largest sockeye run of the year. So first you determine what you want to photograph, what backgrounds you want, pick specific locations, and that might vary for you. Everybody has a different agenda, but the more due diligence I can put in, the more time in the field, the more proactive I can be, the more successful my imagery. We found bears to be basically habitual in nature. They frequent specific areas on the river. They find their favorite salmon holes, and they stay in those areas. So because of that, I can set up on shore at specific times of day to capture specific times of light and the bear behavior that we're looking for. So I've spent, 160 bear trips, and we can predict the behavior. So we had a bear previously, 10 minutes ago, that was fishing in the same area. So we assumed if another bear came to the same spot, he would do the same thing. I've been coming to this spot for 10 years. It's one of the best spots I've ever seen, prettiest spots I've ever seen. And we know the bears are going to come here. It's just a matter of waiting. This week, the riverhead probably dropped about 8 inches, making the conditions much better for us and the bears to fish. They can pounce in the water a little bit rather than just flop in the water. That's why we're here. But if you look at the sequence, so it's from when he's going to jump. So that's where the 20 frames a second comes in. It gives me all the ability to capture the whole thing to the dive. You can't do it all. I can't photograph bears in the sunlight, whip around and try and photograph bears in spotty light. I don't do it. I photograph in what I call a window of opportunity. And to reiterate, that's where the light's best, that's where the background's best, that's where I'm going to set up and then wait for the magic to happen. We're going to encounter various lighting situations while we're going up and down the river. The bears are going to be in sunlight, the bears are going to be in shade, they're going to be in mixed lighting, so it's our job to learn how to make the most of that. But the lighting conditions is paramount for us. I can set up for the background, I can set up for the lighting conditions, but then I have to wait for the subject to orient itself correctly to the light before I depress the shutter. That's extremely important for us to maintain successful imagery. The other thing is, it's not a numbers game for me. If I'm out here for 2 weeks, I'm looking at 10 pictures that blow your mind, and that's it. So I'm not going to look for images that I know are not going to be successful. Frequently, what I will do is set the aperture, set the shutter speed, set the ISO to the proper exposure. And there's a lock dial on the R5, so I can lock those two parameters. So the only thing I can change if I want to is just the ISO, so I can vary that up or down according to the light situations. We're looking for the bear, for the most part, to be an even light. And if the sunlight's coming from my right, I want the bear walk in this direction so that its face is lit up. I don't want it walking away from me so that the light is on the other side of the bear. So we're looking for bears on the right side of the river with the light basically not directly over our shoulder, but one side or the other a little bit. And the bear walking towards the light so that its face is lit up. Now, it also means that I'm going to be a little bit proactive. So I'm going to look for the best spot. If there's an opening on the shoreline and I know the bear is going to fish from that particular spot, we're going to move forward. We're going to set up the camera. We might go on a sandbar to be ahead of the bear and photograph as he walks towards me. Hopefully he's going to fish and we'll have some interactions from that. If not, and the bear moves forward, when the bear hits the direction that I am, parallel to the camera, I don't want to shoot from behind the bear anymore. I'm going to stop photographing and I'm going to move ahead again so that the bear continually walks to me. Okay, so the bear is fishing. It's actually snorkeling with its head underwater. He's looking for sockeye, and as soon as he sees something, he's probably going to pounce. If he misses, he's going to shake his head to get the water off. So I have a fast shutter speed, 25/100th of a second. Just gonna do it right now. And I'll get that spiral off his face with the frozen water. It's my favorite place on the planet. Bears are my favorite subject. I'm glad I got to share it with you, and I hope you learned a little bit along the way. Thanks for coming.